I accept tonight the responsibility that you have given me to be the leader of this, the greatest country in human history.
Voters turn out in record numbers to elect a new president,
as well as a host of other new and returning office holders. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for expanded coverage of Election 92 tonight. I'm Dave Thompson.
And I'm Kim Singer. The 42nd President of the United States is William Jefferson Clinton. Let's go right to the latest numbers. The electoral vote, Bill Clinton, a landslide in the Electoral College, 349. George Bush with 74 electoral votes, and Ross Perot with none. Moving now to how Oregon voted tonight in the presidential race. As you can see, Bill Clinton had 44% of the vote. George Bush, 39% with 142,000 votes, and Ross Perot took 18% of the Oregon vote with 99,000 votes.
One of the biggest races that we're covering for you tonight is the race for U.S. Senate. The incumbent, Bob Packwood, with 211,000 votes at this point. Congressman Les Coyne, his challenger, with 192,000 votes. And another big race we're covering for you tonight, the one for Portland Mayor, Vera Katz, with 32,000 votes to City Commissioner Earl Blumenauer's 21,000 votes.
Let's go now to Bill Clinton's headquarters here in Portland. We're going to go live, and I am quite sure there's a victory celebration there underway. Let's see if we can take that live shot where they are celebrating Bill Clinton's victory in downtown Portland tonight.
Rosie?
There we go. Rosie?
Kim and Dave, as you can hear, there's a big party going on right here. About 9:30, about a half an hour ago, President-elect Bill Clinton gave a rousing acceptance speech. And now the party faithful, led by the party co-chairs here, State Representative Margaret Carter and State Senator Bill Bradbury, are also ushering in a new era and thanking everybody. Well, joining us right now is the State Director for the Clinton-Gore campaign, Amy Chapman. Amy, you were expecting a win. This is a huge landslide. Did you expect it to be this big?
Absolutely not, but we'll take whatever we can get, and this is something that shows that Bill Clinton now has a mandate for his economic change that he's going to be giving for this entire country.
Obviously, it took a lot to mobilize this campaign. What happens next?
What happens next is that now people work with government to create a better country for themselves.
All right. What do you think were the key issues that really pushed everybody together?
The key issues was obviously the economy and whether people were better off than they were 4 years ago, and the answer was no, and they wanted change, and that's why they elected Bill Clinton.
Thanks again, Amy Chapman, State Director for the Clinton-Gore campaign here in Oregon. As you can hear right now, Congressman Ron Wyden is leading the crowd, and you can hear everybody is pumped up, everybody's fired, and we will have more as the news hour continues.
Okay, thank you, Rosie. Pretty exciting down there. Let's go down to the Bush campaign headquarters where Lars Larson is standing by at the Imperial Hotel. Lars, what's the status there?
Dave, Kim, a lot quieter here, as you can tell, than at the Clinton headquarters. You could probably fire a cannon through this place and not hurt a soul. Many of the people have now cleared out tonight. In fact, around 8 o'clock, Clarence Poppert, the vice chair of the Bush Quayle campaign, announced that the party was over, and that was about it. As of tonight, they are now taking down the decorations. Most everyone has gone home tonight. We're hoping to talk to Mr. Poppert later on this evening.
It kind of looks like after a Blazer game down there, doesn't it? It really
Very
does.
quiet. One small group that's returned just for us.
A media opportunity.
Tell them thanks.
Obviously a spontaneous rally of some kind.
One of the last photo ops of the Bush Quayle campaign, perhaps. Well, let's turn our attention now to some of the Oregon ballot measures. The one most hotly debated, the one that ripped the state apart, Measure 9, the anti-gay rights initiative, and there are the numbers. It is being defeated, 248,000 to 193,000. We're going to go now to the Bob Packwood headquarters down at the Benson Hotel. It appears that U.S. Senator Bob Packwood will keep his Senate seat. We're going to go, my director just told us, we're going to go to Vera Katz, who appears to be Portland's next mayor. She's standing by with Florence Jonick at Vera Katz's campaign headquarters tonight. Florence?
Hi, Kim. Vera Katz has just declared victory a few minutes ago. She called Portland the nation's last hope for solving problems that other cities have given up on. She also said that the apparent defeat of ballot measure 9 is wonderful news and called on city and state residents to begin the process of healing. She's here with me now. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mayor-elect.
Is this the year of the woman? Are you part of that group?
Well, it looks like it's the year of the woman. The returns across the country look very good for women candidates.
What's the first thing you're going to do? You talked about maybe taking all of the bureaus into your own portfolio for a while. Is that a possibility?
Now, the first thing I'm going to do is visit with the mayor and Earl Blumenauer and sit down and have a nice chat with both of them and thank the city of Portland. That's going to be the first thing. The second thing I'm going to do is appoint a transition team and begin looking at the timeline between now and January and all the things that need to be done.
The last numbers I saw showed you winning by about 2-1. Does that surprise you?
That was really very surprising, and those are really early returns. I think the gap will close, but it looks very hopeful, and I think the numbers will hold.
It was a very clean race, but there towards the end there were some hot moments with Commissioner Blumenauer. Can you mend fences and work with him?
Oh, absolutely. He is a worthy opponent. He's a leader in this city. He loves the city as much as I do, and I think when the campaign is over, we'll be able to sit down and work through all the problems that we ran into during the 404 days of this campaign. We've had over 40 joint appearances, and we're still talking to each other.
Congratulations again, Ms. Katz. Mayor Katz. Vera Katz has a new chapter in her political career. She goes from former Speaker of the House to mayor of the largest city in Oregon. We now have a female governor and a female mayor. Back to you.
Flo, an interesting combination indeed, and Vera, of course, a very familiar face to everyone who's been in Oregon any length of time. Congratulations tonight, Vera. Let's take a peek now at another race that is still perhaps too close to call, huh?
The race for U.S. Senate, Bob Packwood with 211,204 votes to Congressman Les Aucoin's 192,103 votes. This is one of the, obviously, one of the closest races, one of the hottest races we've been following for you, perhaps one of the most negative races we've seen in some time. To discuss with us what's going on here and what it might mean, we've brought on our political analyst, Lynn Bergstein of Northwest Strategies. Good evening, Lynn. Thanks for being with us.
Good evening, Dave.
This is the night we've been waiting for, huh?
This is it. We've been leading up to this one, and it's been pretty exciting already in terms of the races that have closed themselves out. This race, this is an exciting one. I think Oregonians are going to be watching this one late into the night. Maybe some absentee ballots may determine this. Depends on what kind of a lead Les is able to pull out of the Multnomah and metropolitan area to see whether or not he's able to upset Packwood.
No, we already have some of the Multnomah County numbers in the results we've showed. We're just starting to get some of the outer state numbers, if you will. Now, Packwood is supposed to be strong in the, say, eastern Oregon part. Aucoin's supposed to be strong in Portland. Is Aucoin, since he's already behind, already in trouble?
No, I don't think so. I think this is going to be a very close race. I think the numbers are still very small that you're reporting on. I think what you're going to see is a very tight race, and then I think it's going to be decided by those absentee ballots. And this has been a very interesting dynamic. As we've talked before, I think on air, we talked about the fact that about 20% of the people were undecided right up until the end of this election. People seem to be turned off by the kind of campaign, as you just alluded to in your comments, and I think people were looking for a place to land. I think the Aucoin campaign was able to do a couple of things which kept them in the race. We talked about this earlier on. The fact of the matter is that they tucked themselves into the Clinton message, and they also were able to make a soft landing this weekend. They looked like they were pretty much giving people a reason to vote for Aucoin that was not this kind of negative campaign that rest of the...
Len, we're going to talk to you a little later on about just how far Clinton's coattails stretch tonight, okay?
Sure.
But we're going to go right now to Teresa Luce, who is down at the Benson. She is at Bob Packwood's campaign headquarters right now. Teresa, are they declaring victory there yet, or are they agreeing it's just too close?
Oh, not at all. In fact, the man of the hour is not even here right now. He is apparently watching returns with friends, doesn't like to come down here until the race is a little closer. So what you're seeing behind me is the enthusiastic fans of Bob Packwood. They're watching those numbers closely, and as you heard Len Bergstein say, they want to see where they're coming from because Senator Packwood does do particularly well outside of the metro area. Until they see the statewide numbers, they'll know how confident they can be. To give us some analysis, we have the chairman of the Republican Party with me, Craig Berkman, and you were telling me now that you've seen these numbers, you don't feel this is going to be all that close. Can you tell me why?
Well, I think Senator Packwood did some things that the public hasn't seen. There were 700,000 advocacy phone calls made out of a phone bank in Wilsonville for this campaign. Secondly, the state party and Senator Packwood ran the most extensive absentee ballot program probably in the history of the state of Oregon. And I think you're going to see that come into play later on tonight, both in the legislative race as well as the senator's race.
So if this would come down to a recount for some reason, you're feeling Senator Packwood could definitely come through?
I think as you see votes coming in from around the state, rural areas, eastern Oregon, the senator will do even better than he's done in the urban areas. The absentee ballots, I think, will do very well for the senator. It's a tribute to his expertise as a campaigner, and I think the support that the people of Oregon know that he's done for Oregonians in the Senate.
What about Bill Clinton's strong win tonight? How do you think that will affect Senator Packwood?
Well, I think for Senator Packwood to be doing as well as he's doing, and state legislative candidates for the Republicans doing as well, in light of this Clinton landslide, is a tribute to the discernment of Oregonians as voters on the one hand, but also it's also, I think, a rejection of the kind of single-issue politics that suggest even though they may vote one way for president, they vote other ways. We did it in '64 in the Goldwater landslide. We did it in '72 in the Nixon landslide in the state. So again, I think it's a tribute to Senator Packwood.
All right, thank you for your perspective. We will bring you updates from here, and hopefully we'll come to you when Senator Packwood arrives tonight. Back to you, Dave and Kim.
Thanks, Teresa. It looks like your night is just beginning down there, and we intend to stay right with you. We'll check back in with you in a few minutes. Thanks.
We'll keep you up all night there, Teresa. Let's go now to Jim Marr down at the headquarters for the Aucoin campaign to see how it is down there. Jim, what's the feeling down at Aucoin?
Well, I'll tell you, Kim, Dave, this is the heart of the Democratic Party here in Portland, Oregon. We've got Ted Kulongoski, Attorney General candidate, up there conceding right now. Secretary of State Phil Kiesling just made a speech moments ago. The Aucoin camp is cautiously looking at the numbers and hoping that they improve as the night goes on. With me now is the Aucoin campaign chairman, Rachel Gorlin. Rachel, you are looking at the numbers, and what do you have so far?
Well, we don't know where they're from. This is part of the problem. We have no idea, clearly, because Bob Smith's race has been called. We've got returns from Eastern Oregon in there. We have no reason to believe the returns from Multnomah County are complete. We don't have anything like all the numbers in the Diamond Hills race. So we don't have all the numbers in the Meeker first race. So we don't know whether Washington County, the heart of Les's base, is in. So we're, frankly, feeling guarded but optimistic.
You aren't ready to concede that all those Multnomah County numbers are not in yet, but early on it looked like Congressman Aucoin was doing very well in the metro area.
Well, I mean, we know that Les will win the metro area. The question is by how much, and how much of it is reflected in the returns we've seen so far. And I think the real issue is here, Bob Packwood spent $8 million. He outspent Les Aucoin 4-1 to produce, at this point, a very slim lead, based on we don't really know what. So we have reason to think that tonight could bring good news, or tomorrow morning, who knows.
Rachel Gorlin, thank you very much. Aucoin campaign chairman Rachel Gorlin. Of course, the numbers are preliminary. Kim and Dave, as you said, will be here all night waiting for an appearance by Congressman Aucoin. We're told sometime perhaps after 11 o'clock the congressman may make an appearance here at the Hilton. Back to you.
We'll be staying right here waiting for that, Jim. Now, Jim, we want to correct one thing. I know in all the confusion and noise down there, you meant to say that in the Oregon Attorney General's race, Ted Kulongoski is making his acceptance speech, not his concession speech. Quite an important difference there, so we want to get that straight right now before we go any further with the election results. And we're going to take a break, but not for long.
And we'll be back in just 2 minutes with Election 92 coverage. Stay with us.
This is a Johnsonville Swiss Wurst made with real Swiss cheese. And this is someone tasting one.
Every year, thousands of Oregonians get burned by a switch. $2,500. That's how much it costs on the average to switch from the comfort of oil heat to something else. And can you recoup your investment? There's no guarantee you will. Better price? Not really. In the last 5 years, the price difference between oil and gas hasn't been more than a few pennies per gallon equivalent. So don't be fooled. No one deserves to get burned by a switch.
How many cuts of meat is Safeway? We got beef tenderloin, beef sirloin tip.
I have round roast, rump roast,
brisket, T-bone steak, New York strip steak,
cube steak, sandwich steak, filet mignon.
That's right.
Ground beef, ground pork, ground lamb, ground turkey, ground chicken.
Pork spare ribs, St. Louis style ribs,
baby back ribs, country style ribs.
We got pork loin chops,
boneless pork chops,
butterfly pork chops.
Lamb.
Rack of lamb, leg of lamb.
Lamb shank.
Lamb.
Veal cutlet, veal scallopini, stir-fry meat, and stew beef. Did I say kebabs? Kebabs.
Hi, how you doing? Dave. People ask me, Dave, how can families eat out when it costs so much? I tell them, bring them to Wendy's. Mom and Dad can choose their meals from our super value menu where everything is just 99 cents each. And there's something special for kids too. Our hamburger kids meal is only $1.99 every day. With prices like these, families can spend more time together and less money.
The 99-cent super value menu and $1.99 kids meal, part of Wendy's family savings plan.
In the Secretary of State's race tonight, it looks like a big win for Democratic incumbent Phil Keisling.
Five-term Republican State Representative Randy Miller hoped to unseat Keisling by tying the Roberts appointee to Governor Barbara Roberts. It looks like that hasn't worked, but Miller's still waiting out the returns. We'll hear from him in a minute. But let's go down to the Katz campaign with. There's the Blumenauer campaign, I should say, at this moment, and he's at the Katz headquarters, and Earl is now conceding and congratulating Vera Katz. Let's go to Flo Jonick.
Earl Blumenauer has just arrived here at the Hilton to offer his congratulations to our new mayor, Vera Katz. A gentlemanly end to what has been a very polite, above-board race. Earl Blumenauer, however, does not want to do an interview at this hour. For many voters, this was a very tough choice. The two are very close philosophically, and in some cities, the liberal establishment wouldn't have even let people like these run, two of the same ilk, as it were. It was a very tough choice, but voters get both candidates now. They get Vera Katz as mayor, and Portland Commissioner Earl Blumenauer will, of course, retain his seat on the council. Back to you now.
Thank you, Flo. Big development down there with Mr. Blumenauer coming over and thanking Vera. That was a nice step. They have to work together for another couple of years at least.
Yes, they do, and also making his concession at this point a little earlier, I think, than many people thought it would happen tonight. We'll be talking to Len Bergstein about that a little later on. But right now, let's go back and take a look at the Secretary of State's race, where five-term Republican State Representative Randy Miller did hope to unseat Phil Keisling tonight. It's not going to happen. Let's take a look at the tape. Here we go.
But we would expect that the early returns will run heavily Democratic and heavily Keisling, so we'll wait a little longer.
You think you have a chance of winning?
Oh, sure. I've been out around this state, and I think there are a lot of people who, particularly southern and eastern Oregon, people who feel that, the Roberts-Keisling team has ignored them and who are going to vote for us in large numbers.
He hasn't exactly conceded yet, but let's take a look at the numbers as they stand at this early stage. Oregon Secretary of State Phil Keisling has 217,000 votes to Randy Miller's almost 168,000 votes.
Another race we will be following tonight for State Treasurer Jim Hill, a big lead over David Chen, a financial manager, both very prominent on television ads the last weeks before the election.
Let's take a look at the Oregon Attorney General's office. Ted Kulongoski has already accepted. He is the winner in this race, 250,000 votes over Republican Rich Rodman and Libertarian Fred Orther.
Let's take a look now at some congressional races in the 1st District. Well, there's Portland Mayor's race. Earl Blumenauer, as you can see, he has just conceded to Vera Katz. Vera, our mayor-elect. And now, the 1st District in the U.S. House, Elizabeth First, Democratic candidate, is leading Tony Meeker. This may be a little too early to call. They're only about 4,000 votes, give or take, apart. In the 2nd District, incumbent Bob Smith has a big lead over Denzel Ferguson. In the 3rd District, incumbent Ron Wyden, a substantial lead over Al Ritter. Al from Southeast Portland, a darkroom technician. He's blind. He works for Precision Cast Parts. In the 4th District, let's take a peek. Incumbent Peter DeFazio leading over Richard Schultz.
Let's take a quick look at the 5th District at this point. We have Mike Kopetsky leading substantially over Jim Seagraves. Associated Press has already called the races in the 2nd through 5th congressional districts, all the races except the 1st Meeker race, already called it for the incumbent in each case.
Let's go now to Rosie Fiala, who is standing by live with Ellen Lowe from the No on 9 campaign. Measure 9, definitely the most hotly debated measure on the Oregon ballot today. Rosie?
That's right, Kim. As you mentioned, it is a hotly debated issue, and as the numbers show, it is being beaten resoundingly. Now, with us right now is Ellen Lowe with the No on 9 campaign. You expected a victory, but did you expect such a sweet victory?
Not really quite this much. What we're so gratified is the margin we're receiving in all parts of Oregon. This isn't just a Portland issue, this is an Oregon issue, and it's an Oregon victory.
Now, there's a big party going on here. You just came from Montgomery Park where you were celebrating. What's the mood over there?
I think it's the folks there are as exhilarated as the people I've encountered here. So many of them have been living under real stress the last 18 months, and so it's a great relief to know that they aren't going to be second-class citizens.
What kind of message do you think this sends to the rest of the nation and even the world? Everybody was watching Measure 9.
Well, I think maybe we're a couple years late, but really it's a reaffirmation of the Bill of Rights of the United States, and most certainly in Oregon.
Now, I know that in Portland we were expecting a big defeat, but there was some question as to how Measure 9 would do in rural parts of the state. Are you surprised by their turnout?
Well, I think what it demonstrates is, for example, Jackson County, where it's going down heavily there. They've had a human rights coalition in existence for several years. People in Jackson County have been talking about civil rights and equal rights, and their knowledge really paid off.
So your work paid off, and a lot of people's work paid off too. Ellen Lowe with the No on 9 campaign. Back to you, Kim and Dave.
Thank you, Rosie. Another one of the races we're following for you tonight that's very tight, and we knew it would be, is Portland City Council Position 4, where Charlie Hales is now just a couple thousand votes ahead of Chuck Diamond. Let's go down to Flo Jonick now, down at the Hilton Hotel, who I think,
She's not there yet, David, but we'll be checking back.
Just lost that one.
Yes, we'll be checking back in with. All right. It's kind of like ping pong tonight. Flo is available now, so let's go to Flo while we can get her. She is at Charlie Hale's campaign headquarters down at the Hilton. Flo?
Hi, Kim. I'm with Charlie Hales now, a political newcomer, but he's not doing bad for a rookie. 52% of the vote and holding. But
the numbers are slow, but our margin keeps slowly increasing, so my smile's getting a little bigger as the night goes on, Flor.
Congratulations, Charlie. What do you think did it? You outspent your opponent 3-1. Was that a deciding factor in this?
Money is always a factor, but the biggest factor in our race was volunteers. We had about 120 people on the street last weekend going door to door, and it still works.
I understand you want the Planning Bureau. A cynic might say that you could do your old buddies at the Home Builders Association a lot of favors by getting a bureau like that. What would you say to that kind of critic?
I could also do my old buddies in the neighborhood movement a real favor, and that's exactly the point. I'd like to do the Planning Bureau because I'd like to bring the people that are interested in preservation of neighborhoods and the people who build housing together instead of having them fight one another all the time.
Congratulations, Charlie. Enjoy your evening. Back to you now.
Thank you, Flo. It's going to be a long night for that particular race also. You know, the Oregon measures, the statewide ballot measures, 9 of them this year to talk about. Let's jump right to the numbers with the first one, the state parks bond, where the state would get permission to issue general obligation bonds for $250 million for the purchase and development of state parks. Right now, the vote is no. Fuel taxes for the parks, to set aside future fuel taxes for the parks for the state, 225,000 vote no and only 85,000 yes.
Measure 3 asks, should we limit the terms for state office holders and for the Senate and the House of Representatives? And that is passing quite handily. Measure 4 would ban the triple trailer rigs from Oregon highways. That is being defeated.
2 ballot measures would shut down Trojan. Both are going down to defeat. Ballot measure 5 there, and ballot measure 6 also going down to defeat.
And taking a look at Measure 7, the split roll property tax, that is being defeated. That would have raised property taxes on all property not owner-occupied. And let's take a look now at the gill netting ban.
Right now, the no for the gill netting ban, although it may not be completely over yet, that would stop gill net ban on the Columbia River below the Bonneville Dam.
A sensitive issue here in the Northwest. We're going to take a break. We will be back. There is much more to come.